we have the data given for the birth weights of babies. So these are the birth weights and the frequency for those birth weights. So notice that the birth weight here is in the form of categories of 500 grams, and we have asked three different sub questions. So let's look at the first sub question. So the first question asks, for the comparison with the other years and with other countries, we prefer histogram with percents rather than just the counts. So notice that the counts is given here, but for comparison we should use percentage. And why? So that is because if we are considering two different countries or simply different years, so let's say US low birth weight babies in 2000 year and US low birth weight baby in 2019. And let's say we only have as an example 5 low birth weight baby just for simplicity purpose, right? So by looking at count only and plotting a histogram with count, we can see that for these two different years, the US had like the same number of low birth weight babies, right? But that might not actually be same because it depends also depends on out of how much population, right? And we know that the population is changing, um, especially in the developing countries. So let's say as an example in 2000 year US had a population of 100K. Just as an example, I know this is not the realistic number. And let's say in 2019 the population became like 1000K. So in that case, if you look at the rate, it's actually 5 cases over 100K, and in 2019 it's 5 over 1000K. So that percentage wise, this is particularly greater than this when we look at the percentage, right? Whereas if we look at just the counts, we might feel that these are similar or exactly same. So that's why for comparison we always use some standardized form, which in this case is percentage. The second sub question from the second question B asks us to find how many babies were there. So basically it's asking the total number of babies, right? And in order to get total, you just add these counts and those should be totaled up to this particular number. So that is your total number. Now you have to make a histogram with distribution. Now you know what is the histogram by now. If not, check out the previous video. But the special thing in this is that they have asked us to make the histogram using percent on the vertical scale or the y-axis, right? Instead of this counts given. So basically you have to transform this data or the y values from the counts to the percentage. So what you have to do for, let's say for a first category as an example, less than 500, your percentage for that should be 5980 divided by that total number 3995422 times 100. So we can round it up to 2 decimal point and get the answer as 0.15. And similarly we have to do for each of these categories. So for the second one, Then for the third, fourth, that was for the previous category. All right, and you can cross check that by adding all this percentage and see if it comes to 100. If not, that means there is some mistake that we have made and then we have to redo the calculation. See now, it is exactly 100, so that means our calculation for percentage or transformation of counts into percentage according to categories is correct. So now when you have this kind of graph, so now it's very simple job that you have to just plot this x values and the y values in the histogram. So I have already created that step, so it would be easier. You just have to follow the same rules for histogram, create an x values, y values, and then give them heights, and that's how the histogram looks like. So we have completed the second sub part of the second question, and the last question says what are the positions of the median. So we are interested in positions of median, that is m, quartiles, that is q1 q3, in the ordered list of all birth weights, in which way, and then next question is in which weight classes do the mean and quartile falls. So first let's just find mean. Now in this case we have those data ordered according to those categories, and these are the frequencies. So we just have to use total number and see what is the mean and quartile, median and quartile. So for the median, we have the formula as n plus 1 divided by 2, that is n represents total number, and we know that this is the total number right here, 3995422, plus 1 divided by 2. So if you solve that, we are going to get the median value as 199771.5. Now remember, this is the position of median, which is still the first sub question of this question 2C. So let's also calculate or locate the position of Q1, which is nothing but first quartile. For that we need to know N1 plus 1 divided by 2. Now question here is what is the N1? So remember the concept of Q1, Q3 and median. This is the median center, Q1 and Q3. These are equally distributed. That means they are located like this. Is the Q1 is the first half, median of first half, and Q3 is median of second half. So everything before this point, not including this median, but before that point, are going to be the total number of N1, right? So that is why we are going to take the N1 as 1997711. and not zero point 0.5, because zero point 0.5 is that particular position of the median. So we are taking everything before that point, right? And then using the same formula, because it's also acts like median of first half, that is going to give to this answer. That is also the position of Q1. Now let's similarly we can do the Q3, maybe N3 we can name it as. Now again, what is going to be the N3 in this case? So we know that the median is this value, and we also know the principle of median is that it divides the data points into equal half. So if there are these many data points before this median, then there are going to be these many data points which are also on the other side, that is the positive side of the from the median, right? So that is nothing but your N3. But the key point here to notice is that if we are taking 199771 as our N3, which is on equally on other side, that is from the side of mean. So this is going to give us the Q3 from median. So this is Q3 from median plus 1 divided by 2, and that's going to give you the exact same value, right? But that is the position from the median, right? From here, that is the position from here for the Q3. But we should be interested in the position from the starting point rather than median, because in the sub question, if you look at the sub question, we have to answer that in which weight classes do the median and quartile falls, right? And we are going to go from 0 because of that concept behind that cumulative frequency. So for that, I'm going to write it again. So Q3 position from start or starting point is nothing but, so that is after the median, right? So that is going to be 1997711 plus, so this value is directly from the median. That means we are going from here till median or just before median, and then add 998856. That is after the median. So we are going to add that, and whatever we get, now this is the position from the start or the starting point, right? Now we have completed the positions. Now the sub question for C is we have to locate, so in which classes do the mean and quartile falls. So let's look at the first median, in which class it falls. So we know that this is the value for median, and we also know that the data is given in the form of counts for each of the classes. But remember that these counts are for each of these categories. So 5980 is within this category only. 22,015 is only within this category. But if you want to order them, so till this point, you are going to have data points of addition of these two, right? So that is going to be 590. So just follow along this chart till the histogram. So we know that till this point we are going to have addition of those first two counts, that is 5980 plus 2205, and that should be 27,995, right? And similarly, we have to do add till we reach this particular position to locate that median within these classes. So for simplicity purpose, we can just go real quick. So further, we are going to add 29,000, this value. That gives us 57,841, and that is still this point. So just keep on adding that till we reach the median. So now we have to add 57,841 to the next value, that is 63,427. Then to that number add 204,295. To that add 744,181. So now we can see that we are approaching closer to the median. So keep on going. So now add this value to that total. That gives us 'So right away you would know that your data point, because now we reached just over the median position, right? So from about 2 million to 2.6 million. So now we know that your data should be somewhere around or within this particular bar, right? So now this bar represents which category? So let's look at that, and you can see that this particular bar represent this category. Weight 3000 to 3500 or 3499. So 3000 to 3499. So that is what the position or position, not position, but the class, position of class, you can say. So we can say that our median falls within class of 3000 to 3499 weight. So that is the answer for sub question of 2C. And similarly, we can locate the Q1 and Q3. Oops, sorry, I wrote it In here it should be towards the median. So now locate the Q1. It should be easier. 998,856. So let's look at this cumulative frequencies, and we can see that 998,856 should be between this and this, right? So that means our Q1 should be within this bar of histogram, right? So we can see that this is the class location for Q1. So to answer that sub question, Q1 lies within class of 2500 till 2999. Now for Q3 we still have to go for this far, 2996, but we can certainly see that if we add the next frequency we are going to about to reach that particular value or position. But you can give it a try after 3500 to 4000, so just add that number to this position. So 3000 to 4000, 3500 to 4000. So add this number. So you're going to get somewhere around 33691,503, and that would be till this particular point, right? So right away you can see that Q3 is about 3 billion, 3 million, and this is like about 3.5 million. So you know that right away the Q3 should lie somewhere within this particular bar of histogram. So you can locate that category and then answer that the position or the class for the Q3 is this one, that is 3500 to 4000. So Q3 lies within 3500 to 4999. Alright, so looks like we have completed everything. So the key information is getting to that cumulative Q3, which is from the starting point rather than from the median.